I hope everybody has your notepad with you because I'm going to be using mine. I don't want to forget anything here. What I prefer is the 80 grit, as I mentioned. And for certain steels like CPM 154, which is one of my favorite steels, I found that on the contact wheel, not on the platen, but on the contact wheel, which is 90 durometer rubber, I'm able to go from 80 grit down to an A16 Trizac belt, which is about 1200 grit. And I can do that in one step. A lot of people don't believe me. But can you get into this, Adam? Can we see that? This was ground with 80 grit, and immediately I went to the A16, and the front end is polished. And that's basically the reason why I like to start with 80 grit rather than with 60 grit. Okay. Oop. Excuse me. And as I said, there are some finishing belts which are differently graded. These are Trizac belts, and they're sometimes called engineered belts or formed belts. The abrasive is embedded in resins, and that tends to cushion the abrasive a little bit. It gives you a little bit of a little softer finish. And I use these for finishing.
Thank you.
Did I just change that?
No.
There we go. Okay? Very good. Now, separate systems. We're going to go over to the grinders, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the machinery and the equipment that I use for grinding almost all of my blades. So this is what I refer to as a grinder row. You'll notice 3 of the 4 grinders I have here are Burkings. These have been in my shop since probably 1987, 1986. The first one I acquired was the variable speed one, and the other ones I acquired secondhand actually, and they're still running beautifully after all these years. I've never had any maintenance problems at all. The first one I have is the flat platen grinder. I did most of my fixed blades on this grinder. It's got a flat steel platen in the back and a good solid work rest. The next one is contact wheel. I use, generally speaking, I have a 10-inch, but I prefer actually, especially for folders, an 8-inch contact wheel. And let me show you on this machine one of the reasons why I really like Burking. Aside from the fact that I consider them to be the Cadillac of grinders, they are very robust. They're industrial machines. One of the reasons why I really like them a lot is that they have a front wheel drive. Most other grinders that knife makers use have a back wheel drive, and the front wheel is driven by the belt itself. That's not true with the Burking. Burking uses a drive belt on the inside of this housing, and you can see without a belt the front wheel turns beautifully, which means that I can take this contact wheel off and I can put something like a Scotch-Brite wheel, or if I'm working with jade, a diamond wheel. This is a coated diamond wheel which can fit right onto the Burking, and I can use it all by itself. I don't have to rely on a belt to drive it.